afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Mental Health Awareness Initiative. And today we have a very vibrant speaker with us. And welcome to the show, Ms. Pix Jonasson. She's from Sydney, Australia. And very interesting title she has. She is a Couragepreneur, if I'm correctly pronouncing. And she has won many accolades. If I have to name them, the time will be very short. She's a Goodwill Ambassador. She's won a National Peace Ambassador Award. So if you could just talk about yourself, that would be really nice for our listeners. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Hina, and thank you and congratulations for all you do in the mental health space, because it is absolutely so critical, more critical these days. So I guess a little bit about me. I used to work for the government for many years, and then I always wanted to do and be more. And then it was after my third of 3 life-threatening car accidents, and I don't say that lightly because they seriously were. The first one, my grandmother was killed. The second one, I nearly died. And then the third one, I got out of that and I thought, why did I survive? Not why did I have this accident, because I knew I had a micro sleep. I thought, why did I survive? So it's been from then, which was the early 1990s, that I was trying to find my purpose, my passion, my vision, my mission. And then it's only really come to fruition now in the last, I guess, 12, 18 months. And sadly, we lost my nephew to suicide. My dad always drummed communication into me. So mental health is my space. And I am all about courage, which is what you touched on, Hina. So thank you very much.
I'm sorry for your loss. And I think so the ingredients for Couragepreneur then will be courage along with resilience.
Yes.
And that is resonating, actually just listening to you also. So if you could just elaborate more on the courage part.
Sure, and thank you again. And, everybody needs to be courageous in these times. And courage, I've got a plaque that sits on my desk, Hina, and it says courage. Courage doesn't mean you don't feel afraid. It means you don't let fear stop you. I believe each and every one always feels fear in some capacity throughout their life. So courage is like building that courage and resilience. And so I have an acronym, how I cope with, wanting to be courageous, because it's really strength in the face of pain or grief or even a challenge or adversity, because we all experience those. And it's, I guess, kind of doing something that you thought you couldn't do. Maybe you feel a bit frightened. For some people, it might be public speaking. For others, it's, if they're really struggling, being courageous is getting out of bed in the morning if they are really, struggling with their mental health. So I have a courage acronym, and I'd like to share that with you.
We'll love to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Hina. So an acronym is basically the letters of the word courage. So C, O, U, R, A, G, and E. So our first letter is C. To me, it stands for connect and communicate, Hina. And I will say that when you can't go outside, you go inside. And I mean that within yourself. And I've had so many amazing conversations, connections, and communications with people online, such as we are now. You're beaming in all the way from Mumbai in India, and I'm in Sydney, Australia. And so you have to connect with people and also communicate. And communication, I heard a really great quote recently: listen to understand, not to respond. So listen to understand, not to respond. And I thought, wow, that's so powerful, because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we really need to use them in that order. So connecting and communicating with people is really critical for one's mental health, because there's a saying too, the heart that gives gathers. When you reach out and connect with others, you feel better and they feel better.
Absolutely. And this is the most important thing right now, a very critical information that you have said. If I'm more curious now to communicate and connect with the other letters.
Oh, thank you. Yes, well, our second letter is O. And again, I say open heart and open mind. And I'm all about having that open heart and open mind. And by open heart, I mean have that open heart for experiencing different things. We are in a new world. You could say, yes, it's the 1st of January a couple of months ago. It's a new year. We are totally in a new world. So you have to have an open heart and be open-minded to different things, different ways of doing business, different ways of communicating with people, different ways of coping, because we all need to do that. These are, as we say, unprecedented times. And you can say the proverbial pivot, but if people have that open heart and open mind, it allows them to, I guess, be more open-minded to have, new ways of doing things, whether that be personally or professionally.
Absolutely. We would love to know what is coming up in your acronym.
Yeah, well, I love this one. I love them all. However, this one is U for uniquely you. Now, I could say what makes Hinnebeg uniquely Hinnebeg? What makes Pix Jonasson uniquely Pix Jonasson? We all have our own individual fingerprint on this amazing planet with 7.5 billion plus people. But what makes me uniquely me? I'm vibrant, I'm dynamic, I'm crazy. And I do encourage people to be their own unique, authentic, transparent self. And I think the world really craves for authenticity these days and a bit of vulnerability. And with that comes responsibility. It's a privilege and also a bit of responsibility. So people being authentic. Someone said you can't fake authenticity. And when you are uniquely you, as Dr. Seuss says, you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one else that is youer than you. So embrace yourself, embrace being your true self, because you might be thinking, oh gosh, what are other people thinking of me? Don't worry about that. They're too busy thinking about what they're thinking about, you're thinking about. That's a kind of oxymoron. So, yeah, just be uniquely you and your own crazy but authentic self.
That is wonderful because in this world right now, wherein social media is just twisting
Mm.
the authenticity part, picking up with so many clouded information, that is absolutely true. We should be more focused on the you part in the courage. And that is the central also almost. What is next?
Yeah, our next letter, Hina, is the letter R, which to me stands for real relationships. You can have relationships, but I do urge people to have real, true, genuine relationships. And I'm talking about personally and professionally. And you can say that, well, we can't go outside, we can only do business locally, well, digitally. I've made incredible, real, true relationships online. So it's a matter of having that courage to connect with people, be your open-hearted self and be uniquely you, and just have those real relationships, because people do business, and especially I understand Indian culture a little bit more now that I've been dealing a lot. It's all about that relationship. You have to know, like, and trust that person first, and you can build up that rapport and that trust online as well as offline when you get the opportunity. So develop real relationships.
Absolutely true. And if I look at the word courage itself, this is the center point now, because once we build the relationship, definitely we are connecting with our original self. And again, moving back for like the reverse order, that is the open-mindedness. We are accepting each other and then connecting with the pure heart that we would like
Mm.
to connect with. That's wonderful and beautiful. How does age come in? The
Ah,
A part.
yes. A stands for amazing attitude. And do I have an amazing attitude all the time? Heck no, because I'm human. I really struggled at Christmas time and also at Easter time, because I'd never spent those important dates for me with no blood relative with me. Never in my 54 years of life. But what did I do? I actually I meditated, I read positive books, and I phoned people who I wouldn't normally phone because I had the time, because I wasn't with anyone. So that developed my amazing attitude. And what I normally do, though, I go to the beach. I've got the privilege of living near the ocean. I chose to live here. So I get blue water therapy. I also meditate, and that helps me have my amazing attitude. Even in COVID, I've had a really grounded, calm nature. I'm still crazy, still high energy, but I've been much more grounded and, calm. So that's helped me with my attitude. I also have 2 online health and wellness businesses, and they're really like personal development programs. It's that community who I surround myself with, because I say your vibe attracts your tribe. So it's a whole combination of things. And Tony Robbins said motion creates emotion. I always thought it was the other way around, that if you're feeling down, or you don't do the motion things, or if you're feeling quite high, you will then get into activity and motion. No, he got us into a suffering state one time, and then he played pump up music. He got us to dance and jump around, and you couldn't but not get out of that down, depressed moment. So I do suggest for people, when you're feeling down, and I understand there's different levels of depression and mental health issues, to move and take action. Put on your favorite song. There's physiological and scientific proof about smiling. When you smile, it changes your physiology. And so, just change your state to change your attitude. And that's how I develop my amazing attitude when it's not so amazing.
Absolutely not true on that part. You are like so focused and disciplined person. It needs no more extra word to say it. And with that, G, what does that
Yeah.
stand for?
Yeah, they really do all segue into one another. And G stands for grateful and growing. Now, again, the attitude of gratitude. I have what's called gratitude rocks around my house. I have them in the kitchen, I have them in the bathroom, I have them in my bedroom, and I have one near my gate outside. Why? Because they're actual physical reminders to be grateful for something. So every time I look at them, Hina, I think, what am I grateful for? I also have a notification. Some people say alerts, but the terminology to me, alert is like, whoa, something to worry about, whereas I say notification. At 1234 at 12:34 p.m., it says on my phone, I am grateful for ... Again, that's a physical reminder to be grateful for something. It might be that my neighbor held the door open for me. We're not talking earth-shattering things. It just puts you into that grateful state. I also have a gratitude journal, a little gold book of gratitude beside my bed, that I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for each and every night. Oh, I aim to do it every night. Sometimes I do slip up. But again, I go to bed with a grateful heart. And growing. You have to be consistently growing your mind. And I say garbage in, garbage out, whether that be in your mouth or in your mind as well. So we are what we consume, both in our mouth and in our mind. And so I'm always learning. I'm always doing things. Even if I can share with you, Hina, when my mum passed away, I started like the day before, I started a new job the next day. I had to grow myself, and that was courageous. I then did African drumming, crazy stuff. So I'm always about growing personally and professionally.
So it's like you are grounded and then you are growing to spread whatever goodness that you can spread around. And that will rub off to people. I'm sure the listeners right now, they will hang on to the courageous part that you have extended to them with the note of E.
I love this one. As I said, I love them all, but this one certainly is me. Enjoy life and energy. You have to have energy in life, because when I say energy, it's also appropriate energy, because when I meditate, I have the right energy for the meditation. I'm not active and crazy and dynamic all the time. I have the right energy. So, I do things that I totally enjoy. Like I said, going to the beach, catching up with friends for coffee when we can. And it's the simple things that are the priceless things. So really inspire and encourage people to get out there and do things, whether it be, creating a poem or playing a musical instrument, getting out in the garden. Do things that you enjoy. It releases those feel-good hormones, the endorphins, and have the right energy for the situation. So that's my courage acronym. So connect and communicate, have an open heart and open mind, be uniquely you, develop real relationships, have an amazing attitude, be grateful and growing, and enjoy life and have energy.
And so inspiring that I'm sure whenever now anyone will listen or look at the word courageous, they'll definitely think about you. The energy that you have exuberated and passed on through your acronym is like mind blowing. It's really
Oh,
nice
thank you.
and a very
Mm.
different perspective. Excellent. Uh, just to add on, what will be one thing that you would like especially because the youngsters will be listening to the podcast,
Mhm.
what is one thing that you would like them to hold on with during this time?
I love that question, Hina, and thank you so much for asking, because to me, knowledge is powerful. Applied knowledge is even more powerful. So even in my interviews with people, I always ask my guests, who are always amazing, what's one thing that they want our audience to take action on. So me personally, in response to your question, I would love them to write down something that scares them and then take action on it. So the physical act of manually writing it down, and I'm talking with a pen and paper, not on a device, not on your phone, not on a laptop or iPad or anything, to write down one thing that scares them that they would like to do, and then take action towards that.
That will be the real courage part, to put it out
Absolutely.
on the paper. And then maybe on top of it, they can just write the courage word boldly, keeping
Mhm.
in mind what you have shared, the wonderful explanation, the outlook of each letter in the word courage. I'm sure that they will be able to at least tackle the situation at that point of time, if not resolve it. But yes, there will be a starting point for them, because that is very important. Your time is very valuable, and I'm sure that before we wind up, I would like to know, since a year in this pandemic and the lockdown stage, have you experienced anything that is stressful or was challenging, and how did you cope?
Yeah, absolutely. I have. On Saturday, the 14th of March last year at 4:55, my area manager, because I had a full-time job, I was a store manager at a local ladies' fashion store at a high-profile shopping centre here. She called me in and she said, "Pix, we can't afford to keep you." And I said, "Really? When?" She goes, "Now." I lost my job like that, pretty much at no notice. That was a Saturday afternoon. I was to then supposed to be have 2 days off and come back that Tuesday. So I lost my full-time job. So that was really stressful. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do with the loss of income? And I have had support, and I do have some businesses that have helped me get through COVID. So I've been very fortunate there. Yeah, so I just had to really drill down and think, how am I going to get through this? I turned it round, and that's when I had a COVID baby in inverted commas. That's when I produced my podcast. And that's when I produced my weekly newsletter. And that's when I got my coaching modules established. So I took action in the face of adversity. And I'm just so thankful, so grounded, and so blessed that I actually took action. And that was a courageous thing, because I really didn't know what I was going to do. So yeah, certainly losing my full-time income was extremely stressful, because a couple of weeks after, my daughter, who I was living with, she's now living in the Netherlands, she lost her full-time job as well. So two of us in Sydney, which is Australia's most expensive city to live, we both lost our job.
That is very truly said, a blow like to lose one's income. It adds on to a lot of stress mentally, emotionally, and physically because you're actually drained off and put off the track suddenly. And many people, I'm sure, can relate to what you have shared because just like that, as you have just snapped the finger, people lost their job without any reason. Of course, the companies also had their own valid reasons, but
Yes.
those who lost, they felt more the pinch. And so, in this adversity part of COVID thing that you had experienced, you found yourself.
Yeah, I did. And I'm actually so grateful, not for the loss and tragedy and, challenges, physical, emotional, mental, and financial that have happened. But me personally, I've learned so much about myself and I've learned so much about other people. And I've found my purpose and my passions.
I'm sure the listeners right now will get all the energy from you, the hope part from you that it is okay, whatever has happened, but we need to move forward. As you have rightly said, we need to do some action and move on with our life. Try to find
Hmm.
out, explore, and work upon whatever is best available to you. That is wonderful. It was excellent. And I'm like speechless right now. What more to add to what you have
Oh,
shared?
thank you, Hina. And thank you again for all the wonderful work you're doing in the mental health space and the beautiful people that you are reaching out to and the positive impact and influence you are having in your community. And it's that ripple effect. So thank you so much and congratulations.
Thanks a lot for your kind words. And I hope it reaches out to many, as you have said, because we do need, as a community, at our own level, to connect with each other, as the first word letters of your courage acronym said so. Towards the end part, wherein you have listed the E part, to give the energy and spread it around. With that note, I would like to thank you for your valuable time and hope to connect with you soon and stay safe. Thank you, Miss.
Definitely. And thank you so much, Hina. And thank you for everyone that listens in for sharing part of your day and your time with us.
Thanks a lot. Hope to see you again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
With that, we end today's episode. Hope to connect tomorrow with another guest. Till then, take care and be safe. Bye.
Bye.